Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
I don't know that we're going to have much to talk about, but let's see when everyone gets on.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, good morning.
I put some stuff in the agenda just in case.
Yeah, please do.
No, I already did.
Well, huh. Why am I not seeing it? Oh, there it is. Okay, thanks. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Fairly light agenda, but a few things. I added the first item. I just was curious because I haven't heard too much about it recently, just to verify that everything is working as expected on the the test to get run, the end-to-end test to get run on commits into SD core. That's all working as expected.
Uh, yes and no. So the end-to-end GitHub action itself is completed, and we are using it already. However, there is some kind of like issues that we need to address when removing an NF. Primarily, I have seen this issue with the AMF and SMF. I haven't had time to debug that issue, but the issue is there. Um,
So the GitHub actions are there.
yeah,
I,
GitHub Actions there is working as
are
expected.
working. Working as all
Yeah,
right.
it's working as expected. However, we need to kind of debug the big because for some reason it seems like, again, I haven't had a time to kind of dig very deep into the issue, but sometimes end-to-end tests fail for the AMF and SMF. And I have just kind of quickly looked into the logs, and it seems like the service itself, when the AMF is looking for the SMF service, it is still pointing to the previous SMF instance, for example. Um, it's like it didn't get updated to point to the new image. And this happens is because first we deploy the entire core network, and then we patch the image. For example, we patch the SMF image, and then we redeploy it again. So of course the pod gets a different IP address when it gets redeployed. So it should be transparent from the core network perspective because it should use the services side, but it looks like it's using the pod IP address instead of the services component. So this is the reason why it is not required at the moment that GitHub action. it is kind of like an optional because we do need to debug to see what is the issue there.
Got it. So it's as a consequence, it's not yet required.
Exactly. Yes. So it's intentional. So, however, when there is a new PR, at the moment I still cannot test everything locally from an end-to-end perspective.
Got it. I said on command. Let me just call it your tests of PRs. All
Yep.
right. All right, thanks. I just wanted to see, make sure I hadn't lost track of that. Is there anything else infrastructure-wise? I see Eric is on. I can't think of anything right now.
I don't think from the infrastructure itself. Probably it might be a little bit also related to the infrastructure what we did, but yeah, if you can update the costs, I think yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's move on to the core where you have several issues.
Okay. Yeah, so from the core, there were a few things. So the iOS MCM team kind of reported that the email validation wasn't working as expected. They proposed a PR, but the problem that the solution that they were proposing actually didn't resolve the issue. Because we were doing validation before for the EMI and for the EMI SVE. However, the validation is only required for the EMI. So we have made a new fix for that. So the latest published version for the NAS fixes this issue basically. So that's already resolved. The second part that is a little bit was triggered because of the issue with the infrastructure. So we had the APR, the Aether repository.
Gabriel,
Yes.
before you go to the next topic, so IMEI one, the root cause done from the iOS MCM team was the length. We're checking till 14th character. You're saying that's not the right root cause and fixes something else?
No, it doesn't actually fix anything. It just kind of like didn't resolve any issue, the patch that they provided. So if you open the, I can share here. Let me quickly share. I can put the link to their proposed solution, which don't fix anything, and then I open another PR that actually resolves the issue. We have tested locally, and I asked them to also test to validate that part. I haven't heard back from them. And I follow up a few times, and this morning was the latest time that I kind of like follow up. Let's see.
Okay, it's 119 PR, right?
Let's see. Yeah, 119, and the solution that got integrated is for PR 120. That is again, I tested locally. I collected some pickup files and validated by hand that the email is properly computed, so everything should be fine. So probably soon we need to kind of make and have another release of the Helm charts that uses this version of for the EMF that resolves this EMI calculation solution. Yeah. So regarding the second bullet point is basically the Aether. So I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I received an automatic notification from GitHub saying that a few GitHub actions were getting deactivated on the Aether repository because there was no activity. So when looking into that repository is primarily used by the NGAP repository. But the Aper repository is also used by the AMF, SMF, and GNodeB. So, but when it is used by these other functions, the ngap is also being used. So there was no activity itself on the Aper repository. So what we did is basically combine the Aper and the ngap repository. And also the Aper is just like, I think it was 4 files for the whole repository. So it didn't make much sense to have it as a full repository for 4 files that basically don't get updated, at least they haven't been updated lastly. So it got combined into the ngap, and now the ngap was updated in the different network functions. So now from the development side, all the AMF, SMF, and GNLBSIM are pointing to the new ngap version, where that includes the Aper repository. So that's already done. And we can also, as part of the release that we can do to use this email fix, we can use also this ngap combined stuff. So those are the things that we need to do probably soon, maybe this week or maybe next week. So that's from, and again, this was triggered because from the infrastructure side was saying that it cannot, there was getting deactivated due to the lack of activity and things like that. So I said, okay, probably we can just merge these two together instead of having independent repositories. I don't remember whether I already deprecated the Aper repository, but that should be deprecated if it is not, if I already didn't do it that. Then regarding the upgrade to Kafka and Mongo, that is part of the release upgrade roadmap. The problem that we had here, so I already have a PR open for that, for the Helm charts, to point to the latest Kafka and MongoDB charts. And the problem is that when testing this, I was having issues with the creation of the topics and with the reading of the topics. So basically, the whole end-to-end testing was working fine and things like that. But if you actually start collecting data from the metric side, there was no data being collected, or there was no data being published. So digging deeper into this, last week there was I realized that the behavior of Kafka changed in one of the intermediary versions, from the latest version that we have all the way to the version that we currently are using compared to the latest version. Somewhere in between, there was the option to automatically enable the creation of topics in Kafka before the behavior was the default set to true. And then the Kafka community decided to change the default behavior to false. So when using the latest version, there is no automatic creation of the topics. So, and because of that, the Kafka client basically was unable to create the topics. So this is something that I already it's fixed locally. I mean, I have the solution for the writers, which is basically the producers, to fix the issue. So the issue is it's already fixed. The problem that I'm having at the moment, or that I need to address at some point, is on the consumer side. So the consumer side, in this case, the metric func, it is still complaining that it is unable to read the topics. So that's something that needs to be done, needs to be fixed there. But there is some good progress on that side. So, and then after that, the consumer side issue is fixed. Then we can actually move to the latest version of Kafka and MongoDB. And this also will help us solve an issue, because in one setup, we have seen that for some reason, MongoDB basically crashes oftenly. But that's something that it's not kind of like typical that I see we have multiple setups, multiple deployments, but we only see that issue in only one deployment. So that's kind of the issue that we are interested in trying to also move to a newer version of MongoDB. So, but since they go hand by hand, MongoDB and Kafka, so that's why we are kind of moving both of them to the latest version. Yeah, what else? Then the last bullet point is, in the latest version of IP route, the behavior was changed how the routes get updated when using, the Python version of IP route. So, and that basically started having issues with some crashes. We fixed the issue, but now what I see is time to time, the UPF doesn't get deployed, sometimes get stuck at some point in pod initialization. So this is not like a real problem for the end users because this is not being released yet. So these are just in the development branch that we're gonna see this kind of issue. But this needs, at some point, we need to kind of give ourselves some time to kind of fix that, understand why the UPF pod gets stuck in pod initialization. So if we force to kind of delete the pod, then it comes back online as running state, fine. But this is just kind of like an intermittent issue. It's not always that it stays on that situation, but sometimes happens that. So, but we need to, dig deeper to understand why this is happening. So I think that is for now. Yeah, the other part is in general, Suresh, there is a few the few issues or few kind of questions that users have related to the UPF. There is there's one user that was trying to deploy the UPF along with the OAI core network. So, and then a few more things, and then kind of Suresh was kind of helping to address those issues. So that's where we're trying to kind of resolve any pending issues that we have there.
All right, thanks. Any other core topics? AJ, are you finding you have time now, more or less?
Yeah, I have time. I don't know, more or less. I keep doing something, but I would be more interested in like looking into this Kafka part, what your update Gabriel has provided, right? Like the topic, you said like they have changed the default behavior, right? And the consumer is not working. That's what you're saying, that.
Yeah, for now, the only issue that I have is with the consumer, with the metrics funk. So the producer side for the AMF and SMF is I have it kind of properly handled, but I need to spend some additional time on the consumer side to figure out how to address that issue from using the Kafka Go client. Yeah, so if we can have a call, to sync up on this, and I can give you up to speed on all this stuff, and then you have any suggestions, that would be great.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks.
So Larry, you wanted me to look at any specific or just to help out
Just,
Gabriel
yeah,
to close these things?
nothing specific. Nothing specific.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I don't think we have any updates.
So Larry, just one thing, sorry, I just remembered this morning the iOS team opened a PR to kind of change the path for the NSSF API from B1 to B2. So I reply on the PR and also in Slack that that solution is not really correct because they are pointing to release 17. Of course, for release 17, B2 is required, but for release 15, B1 is actually the one that should be there. So
yeah, I saw that one. Thanks.
yeah, and on top of that, it's not the change only on the router side, but also on the client side. That needs to be kind of aligned to the same version. So yeah, so hopefully soon we can have this release upgrade to release 18. So
good. That's good to hear. All right, so I don't think there's any SD-RAN update. Moving on to on-ramp. You think the blueprint, you want to make it public?
Yeah, I think well, not right now yet. So probably during this week or maybe early next week. I have tested. I kind of open I commit the whole thing. The thing is that we need to, this has to be like probably like 2 or 3 step process actually. The first one is to make the NTWF repository itself public, and then create a container image. after having that container image, we can actually, open the NTWF blueprint,
Yep.
and then make this blueprint as a submodule of on-ramp. So those three things we need to do, right? So, but yeah, so that's something that probably this week I'm gonna do one kind of final testing, and then we can be ready to just
Yeah. So just let me know
make it
when you need my help there. If any.
Oh yeah, certainly. Yep.
All right. I see Tiani's on now. Do you have anything? I know you just joined late.
Actually, nothing on my side.
Okay. All right. It's good we don't have quite as busy of TST calls as we have at times. I don't have anything else, so just one last go around to see if there are any other topics people want to discuss. All right. We'll leave well enough alone then. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. So I don't know, Ajay, whether you want to stay in the call to talk about the Kafka, or you wanna meet another time.
I'll have to meet other times.
Okay, that's fine.
I have other call. I'll ping you on Slack.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be available probably later in the afternoon or later tonight. So or we can meet another.
Yeah, we can sync up. I think.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.